I try to figure out new ways to explain our world. It's what I'm trying to do. New ways to explain our world. You know, what are we seeing? What am I thinking? What are we doing? What's going on? New ways, new means, new to explain our world. And I don't know how to do it, but I'm coming up with new ways. And I have the idea for a new show. Raul says Trump is kicking ass and taking names. I hope so. Kathleen says, love it when Lionel walks outside. That is it. I did it today, Kathleen. I know it was gratuitous. First of all, it is so low. I don't know if my phone is. It was the worst video ever. It was just, I couldn't see with the sun and this and that. But it was wild. I was so thrilled today. I turned the corner and there was an Al Sharpton demonstration in front of like Mount Sinai. I don't even know what the hell it was, but DEI. I wanted to get that, but man. But we went up and down the well, not up and down, but it was on the Hudson today, and it was the most beautiful day. It's hard to be upset, and there were people out there and just people in bathing suits, bikinis, getting sun and this and that, and kids and moms, and they had the most unique. I showed you. They have in the old days, when you would see a slide, they have that nice foamy kind of a give, the surface. So when kids fall, break their heads, they don't die immediately. But anyway, there's that kind of a give and give. Anyway, they don't have they don't have gym swings and things like before. It's this design now that's so space age. I was going to bring that up to your attention. Mrs. L, I brought her this morning at, what time was that? Before about 5:45. And she went downtown and she was a part of this incredible event called the Heat Initiative. Please go see her on Lynn's Warriors. She did a live at 5 today. Of all of the events that she does, of all the events that she has done, she said this was the most not symbolic, the most captivating, the most touching, the most incredible, the most organized, but people from across the spectrum, people who would normally be, dare I say, not necessarily consonant politically. There were non-binaries and trans folks, and there were conservatives, and there were people and organizations who were behind this. I don't know if I want to read off the list. You would be shocked because it deals with the issue of fentanyl and in particular, but how the media, social media, are killing kids, killing them. And it's not a matter of just fooling around. It's dead. We are dead serious, very serious, exceedingly serious. What's also very important to note. So anyway, so that was that. And by the way, speaking of, I am not one for the mob genre, or genre, as people say. And you know what I'm talking about. There are the Sammy the Bull and Michael Franzese and blah, blah, blah. And the reason for that is that I love when these people who are not in any way connected with the mob or the mafia, all of a sudden they are pretending to be. Anyway, look, it's a free country. But there is a fellow you may have heard named John, or as Tucker would say, and the British would say, a man called John Alite. or elite, depending upon where you're from. He's Albanian. And he has a big to do with the Gaudis, or I don't even know what the story is. But his daughter, Chelsea, I believe, died when she took, I don't know what it was, a Percocet or something, and was poisoned by fentanyl. Not fentanyl, fentanyl. Okay? And so I talked to him on the phone. I said, you know what? I said, I'd like to pursue this. A very, very nice gentleman. I said, I don't want to talk about the mob. I'm not interested in that. But what I do want to talk about is how people are coming together. So we have a mobster, a mafioso. Well, technically, he's not a made guy. He can't be. He's Albanian. In any event, and by the way, not being made is a really good thing. You don't want to be. You don't want to be made. But I wanted to talk to him, and maybe we'll still do this. But it's about this horror involving fentanyl. That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. These are the things which I absolutely find so monumentally critical. But Mrs. L was there with a number of people today. Is fentanyl and trafficking related? Well, yeah, you could traffic in fentanyl, certainly. Oh, you mean human trafficking? I'm sure it is. Part of the cartels. So we're going to be talking about that. And what's also very interesting to note is that with everything that we've discussed so far, and this is even more fascinating, I want to discuss something with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly McKinnon, by the way, says, hey, Lionel, love the live vibe in New York. See, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it. Do you like Kelly? And by the way, thank you for do you like the shaky camera? We had that circle line was out there. Next, we're going to go down. I'm going to take you down to more of Chelsea, our favorite place, the Frying Pan. It's this little place on a, it's a dock. It's a barge, which was used to connect trains. Anyway, it's hard to explain, but that's down. That's a really neat place. What is the name of that entertainment? There is the biggest studio. I showed you this. Pier 97, but it's the biggest pier entertainment compounds. Phenomenal. So anyway, God bless the folks at the Parks Department. Very nice people, all walks of life, all. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's fun. I mean, it really is. It's like it's kind of lightening the load a little bit. And people seem to like it. And it's my own particular commentary, which is so unique. But the video is bad. And I was looking, maybe I get a new one. Say, nah, I'm going to do that. That's good enough. Anthony Kumi is doing Gig Young in the Osborne. I'm taking you to. Did you see that I showed him that bottle, that bottle that's on the side, that art. There's seats inside. I don't know what the hell this thing is. People look at it. What is it? You go in it. They had the kayaking. In any event, dear friends. So here's my idea for a show. You ready for this? You might get a kick out of this. This is my idea for a show. It's a great idea. A fantastic idea. And I want to tell you all about it. But first, I want to remind you of something. Our good friend from the beginning has always been Mike Lindell. And don't forget what Mike Lindell stands for. And that he's never gone away. All the others have. Did you hear where MSDNC might be going to either Hudson Yards or Englewood or something where CNBC is? They don't even want 30 Rock wants nothing to do with them. Did you hear this? They want nothing. They're saying, get out of here. And they're, what are we? So they're collapsing as we speak. But Mike Lindell's still there. And here's why. When it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with mypillow.com/Lionel or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. MyPillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. Let me tell you my idea for a new show. And you're going to hear me out on this one. I want to do a show that nobody could, they can't do it on, Fox or Newsmax. Nobody would want to do it, but I do. And it's called Inside the Mind. I will call them a liberal, even though they're not liberals. And every now and then I will have someone who is perfect, and maybe you know them. And in one case, I know somebody who has absolutely no interest in doing anything, virtually anything, but she will march with others in that 50-51, that 50501 against Trump, and she can't articulate what she doesn't like about Trump. Okay, fine. Okay. But here's one I heard today. I hate Donald Trump. Okay. I thought this is interesting. Why? Follow me through this. Maybe you know these. Because he is picking up people, innocent people off the street, and either deporting them or sending them places they don't belong or something along those lines. He is doing this to innocent people. Innocent. And I said, well, what about the news? Ever since he's been involved, I don't even look at the news. Now, let me listen to this. I said, well, there are causes. Are there things that you're interested in? And I heard this. I said, yes. If there's one thing that I care about, if there's one thing that would get me paying attention or sentient or whatever you want to call it, it's animals. Animals. I would have loved to have had a show where I get to sit there and say, you know what, I know what you mean. And I would falsely say that I agree with it. Because in as much as I think animals are one. Today, I was telling you, the dogs that bring people so much. Remember those border collies, the Muscovy ducks? We don't see them. There was this one, but remember they had these border collies that they would let out and they would chase the Muscovies. It was interesting, but dogs and bring so much love and wonderful, terrific. Helping the law enforcement and military, and not only that, but just kids and helping with God bless them. But I'm sorry, they don't compare it to humans. I'm just maybe theoretically people say, well, they're better. But I think of people like Lake and Riley and all of the people like Mrs. L today. You've got, please. I'm going to give you this link right here. I'm going to give you this link, and I want you to listen to me carefully. And I want you to go to Lynn's Warriors, but in particular, you've got to find this one. Her live today was so terrific. She's meeting with parents who are so beside themselves. They are so racked with guilt. They will never see their child again. Never. Never. And here we go. This is her link. I want you to go to it, and I want you to subscribe. She's gone. And the amount of work she puts in, let me tell you something. She doesn't just sit back and tweet. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's good. But she's going to be going to Washington. I'll let her tell you where she meets with the people in Washington. With the best administration, by the way, there is. Albany, early morning trains. You got to get there. You got to get there 4. To get to D.C., what time is it? About 4? Train pulls about 4 or so. To get there early enough, it's about 2.5 hours. You know. And even with the Acela, which is, it doesn't matter. So she's there fighting for this. And there were people, I don't give a damn about trans people. I think you're the same way. We don't care. But there were people who were showing this. Everybody had loved ones. They had conservatives. They had Trump supporters. All of a sudden they go up and your kid's in bed dead. You know what it's like? You walk up to your kid and they're stiff. They're dead. They're cold. Your child. But good night, Mom. Good night. Boom. And you're wondering, what did I do? Was it me? Could I have done something? It's the most horrible thing in the world. And death, as you know, is not necessarily, I don't want to say it's not pretty, but it can be in various throes. This is what these people were, these parents. And they're saying there's no such thing as an overdose. There's no such thing. It's a poison. I can't overdose you. One little micro dot of this and you're dead in any event. So she was there. And we're talking to a friend of ours. She goes, yeah, I know, but now animals I would. So she thinks that Donald Trump is pulling innocent people off of the street, just throwing them on a bus or a train and taking them to some prison. Now, when I hear about people who were mistakenly thrown into the throes and the jaws of a callous system, I think of January 6th. This person, our friend of ours, and their friends, would say, no, those people were criminals. Those people were criminals. They were, no. They were criminals. They were bad. Right? This is what they, honest to God, they think this. Because they're told to think this. And I would love to sit there and say, so let me explain something to you. Let's take, and in my show, I would never let on. I would make them think I'm one of them. And I would start off with, I can't believe these people, they're dreamers. They came here. And I would start off by saying something like, they came here with a dream for their family, a dream to be a part of this great country of ours. And what does this guy do? He picks them up because of the way they look. Supposedly he has gang tattoos. So what if he had gang? I don't even know if they were gang tattoos. I'm going to say exactly. And even if he did have gang tattoos, so what? Some of his supporters have swastikas. Of course, I'm going to exaggerate. And I'm going to make them think. And I'm going to keep flashing on my show that I'm pretending to be this. And then it happens. And this is when I will push the button and you watching on TV will say, here we go. This is when it switches. And then I'm going to say, and you know what these people always tell me? And maybe you do too. They have the nerve to say, yeah, but they were here illegally. These are the people from under the country. They were here illegally. What do you say when people say that? I mean, I don't know if that even matters to me, but what do you say if they say, well, they're not supposed to be here? They're breaking the law. Have you run into that? I kind of avoid it. Now, remember, this is me pretending to be, because I want to see what they say. Because I want to go into their mind. What did they think? Why is it? And then they can say, you know what's funny? You're not going to believe this. This really shocked me. I want to show you something. Look at this. This is the deportation schedule and rates of Barack Obama. Look at it. Can you believe that? He must have been on the take or something. And then Clinton and this and that. Did you see Hillary Clinton? And oh my God. And you know what's interesting too is, and this is what I stay away from this, but you know that there are sometimes, it's one thing if you're New York City, but if you're a small town that they kind of converge, they can destroy a criminal justice system. We have a friend in the family who one day, the principal came and said, this is so-and-so. He's from Cuba. He's in your class. This is a public school. This is in Florida. And she said, okay, middle of the year, doesn't speak a lick of English. Boom. What do you do? Back to my show. I mean, I kind of see their point. You know, these parents, they'll say, my kid doesn't even have enough studies or attention or one-on-one, teaching as it is. And now we have these new people. What is going on here? What do you say about that? And I would pull them out until I got them. And you'd be watching and you would be shocked because they never thought about this. Because they are told today, remember when you were a kid, 9 times 8 is 72. I don't care whether you understand what that means. I don't care if you understand what multiplication is. But when you hear 9 times 8, you say 72. Do I make myself clear? I don't care with you. So when you say this, when you say Trump, you say bad. You see Trump, 48. He's doing this to troll these people. They had a picture of Eric wearing the 48 hat. Not good. Some people can wear a hat. Some people can't. Just saying. Just saying. Haven't heard much from Eric. Or Don Jr.'s kind of been in the anyway. So I realize these people are just out of their minds. They don't know anything. But on my show, I would lure them. And I would say, what do you say to that? Because here's what people would have to say on my show. I would say, hello, I'm what you call the TDS. And here's what it is. I was raised, so to speak, or was conditioned to hate Trump. I really don't care what he does. I just hate him. And my friends hate him. And when I go to work, by the way, this friend of mine happens to be kind of in the media. And when I go to work and meet other people, we all share our hatred for Donald Trump. And I really don't care. I just hate him. I hate him. Everything he does, I hate. He's mean. And if he wants to pick people up off the street, I hate him for that. Lori Cuck, ladies and gentlemen, says, have you seen immigration gumballs? I have not. Where would one see that? Is that on X? Is that a what is that called? An STD or something? I don't know what that is. What is immigration gumballs and where would one find it? We'll wait a second or two. I like this one. Scott, I stopped listening to talk radio when they canceled AJ, but yeah, Art Bell was great. Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. Oh, YouTube. Okay, we're going to do the immigration gumballs, honey. We're going to get to the bottom of that. We're going to find that out. So these are these people that, and they really don't matter. I'm not going to tell you again what needs to be done. But we're going to have to teach people. Now, have you heard the story about Shannon Sharp? Have you heard this? Okay. Have you heard Shannon Sharp? Club Shay Shay? I would love to represent him. Let me tell you why. It's not what you think. I told you that I want to make new law. I don't like the insanity defense because it doesn't really, most people know what they've done. I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is my client. This is Mr. Sharp. He's retarded. Listen to him. Have you heard him? He's one of the dumbest sounding people. I'm sorry. I know you're going to say racist. It's not racist. Listen to him. What a fool. Who is it who puts in text messages, I want to choke you? Can you raise your hand, please? Anybody out there? Have you ever thought about this? Have you anybody? Have you ever thought my text messages are so sterile as it is? But do you think unless what's the one that slips away that supposedly disappears? Is it what's that called? Chat and say or what is the thing where you text or tweet and it goes away, it disappears? Snapchat. Is that legit? You can freeze it. Why do people do this? Why do people write this down? Why? You're making more money. Cat Williams made you. Oh yeah, you were doing the whatever it is. But he sounds like a chidrulo. He's babu. I mean, he looks seriously like somebody doing a character, like a Richard Pryor character, or I mean, he's just an idiot. And I was fascinated by this today. And now he's being cut from everything. And because of this allegation of this woman. Soul says, I would tell people on the left with TDS that I identify with the conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are told you so. Well, that'll make friends. I'm telling you right about that. I don't even bother. I play with them. I had a cat one time who found a mouse. And do you know that most cats really they're not hungry. The cat says, I've got tender victuals. I don't want this thing. I'll torture it to death, but I don't want to consume it. Until later on, I found some entrails on the door, like a little tail, I think it got, whatever the delicacy of the mouse was, the cat said, there you go. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hey, that's a tail. Anyway. But I saw this one time, and the cat didn't. It just, and the mouse says, "Are you going to get this over with?" And the cat says, I'm just gonna kind of fuck around with it. So we go like this, and go like that, and go like that, and the claws weren't even extended. It was just like tapping it, and the mouse was saying, "Would you come on?" So stupid. And they looked at each other, and finally, I think he just walked away. That's what I like to do with these people. I like to be the cat, the little mouse, go like that, just tap them. It's fun. Because I love these people. What am I going to do? Get upset over this? No. Today there was I think I'll show you this. It was very nice. There were these people sitting in front of, maybe I missed the first part. It was Al Sharpton, National Action Network. Al wasn't there, at least when I showed up. It was after my perambulation. And they were all African Americans. They had a gospel singer. And they said DEI or whatever, and I said, but I couldn't figure out what exactly was it. I think it was in front of the Mount Sinai. Is there anybody you're directing this towards? Why are you here? Laurie says, I asked Trump haters if they know about the kids. Why do you engage? Laurie, you can't engage. You can't engage. You have to say, you know what? You're missing the part. Let me stop right now. Laurie in particular. Laurie, you're not having fun. You got to be like the cat. What are you doing? I love to say, I know what you mean. I hate Trump. Say it and watch him, and they'll say, "Ooh, I found somebody." I hate him. I don't even know what he has to say. I don't even know what. And then make yourself sound stupid. I don't even know what. You know what? I couldn't tell you anybody in his cabinet or whatever. Who's the guy with the six? I don't even know. And that wife And those kids, I hate them. And I was, yeah, you're right. No, you don't understand. And I'm supposed, and they'll be something, oh, you don't have a reason. Here's the mouse. You don't have to have a reason. Why do I have to have a reason? I hate Jello. Always hated Jello. Do I have to have a reason for that? It makes me throw up. If I eat Jello, I throw up, which is true. When I was a kid, I couldn't eat it. Still can't. I hate it. It's like, what is this? Do I have to give you a reason why I'm throwing up? No, the fact that I'm throwing up means something. That's the thing with Trump. And then you out-hate him, and you want the person to say, well, yeah. And you know what? I miss Biden. Don't give me this bullshit about, oh, he's so old. Did you ever see him old? Did you ever see? And then you ask these ridiculous questions. Did you ever one time ever see him not sharp or not be able to answer the question? And fine. What about Kamala? Again, don't say that, Kamala. The reason why they didn't want her is because she's black and she's a woman. And she's too damn good. I thought she smoked Trump. Smoked him in that interview. Smoked him. What's he going to do, sue him? And have some person say, now you might get somebody who says, you know, you're right. Then you realize you're talking to a full-blown lunatic. Because anybody who says that Biden wasn't himself some decrepit dotard, hobbled by decrepitude, is out of their mind. Laurie says, everyone should care about the kids. Well, among other things, and Americans, Lake and Riley, what? This is the part that blows my mind. No, or as my friend said, I just care about the animals. Really? I just care about the animals. Yeah, the animals. They defecate in public. You have to feed them. And animals today, most of them don't do anything, which is okay. What do? They sit around, they lick their nads. You know why dogs lick their bone? You know why? By the way, this is an old joke. Now, men know this joke. Women don't know this joke. When you're a man and you grow up, you're given these textbook answers to these jokes. Wrecked them, damn near killed them, that kind of thing. But this is the one everybody knows. And the answer all the time is, you know why dogs lick their balls? You know why? And the answer is, because they can. And you come back with, no, because they can't make a little fist with their paw. Okay, that's the joke. That's called a reverse. When you go to most women and you say that, she says, what are you talking about? That's a joke. Why are you telling jokes? It's a sense of routinized. It's almost mythological. It's cultural. Well, that's stupid. We don't tell jokes. It's really true. It's very true. Women do not like jokes. They have no idea. They have no idea. So what are you talking about? What is the point of this? Why are you telling these stories that didn't occur? What is this, funny? You know, two Japanese guys and a duck walk into a bar. What does that mean? Why are you talking? There's no duck. Where is there a duck? What? Did this happen? Don't ask me why. That's why, for years, a friend of mine told me that women who are in comedy, many of them were lesbian, or as you say in the South, lesbian, because it is a very masculine kind of delivery. You have to produce very forcefully the ideas of what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? You gotta come out of the woodwork, so to speak. You gotta, and it's very aggressive, and it's not something that, which is a theory which has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Nothing. So I'm going to have this show called The Mind of a Liberal, or whatever they're called. And if you also ask them, I'd love to find out, what do you not know about it? What could they actually answer? Cut Up Chatter says, a lady I know works at a thrift store. I started screaming about Trump when I mentioned him, but then collapsed and had to go to the hospital. Now, I know we're not supposed to laugh, but there you go. I have never gotten upset about anybody. I've never hated. I don't hate. I swear to God, I don't hate. There were people who hated Nixon, but I don't think like Trump. There are people who hated FDR. Oh my God, Smedley Butler. They were going to have a coup, for God's sake. I don't know what that is. I don't hate people. I really don't. I mean, I really. I mean, I mean, I do, but I look at them as almost like vermin. There's this, I was watching this great documentary about Ramirez, the Night Stalker. And I wouldn't hate him. I know it sounds crazy. He's like a cancer. Got to get rid of him. And he's not human. He's something else. So I never lose my sense of that. I think that when people lose their minds like this, by the way, I was telling you today, I was feeling kind of relaxed, and I was watching a friend of mine. We send each other stuff. One was a good one, Brevard County, Florida. It's called Fugitive Roulette or something. They spin the thing, and there's a fugitive. But there are two kinds of people. Well, women today, women, bar none, represent, at least the ones, 80 to 90% of the classic clashes of videos. That is just insanity. I mean, people who want to take on cops, teenage girls who look at this cop with guns and they say, I'm going to take this son of a bitch on. You can't stop me. Why'd you follow me? I want to talk to your supervisor. This is insane. And they grow up to be these women cut up that are screaming in a thrift store. This is nuts. What is the matter with you? Get your hands off me. It's unbelievable. There's a degree of mental illness. Seriously. Absolutely. That's why today I think there's something so wonderful about, there was some poor soul. He's walking around wearing a lot of, clothes, and he's a homeless. He's not bothering anybody. I didn't mind him at all. But then there's other people like a thrift store lady who were clean and they're supposedly, as people say, members of society, and they're horrible. There's a degree of mental illness. I cannot tell you the number of people, friends of mine, and I realize this. I don't get into it. I have friends I don't talk to ever about Israel. Never. Mrs. L will tell you, I can have a conversation with you and not tell you anything, not say anything. Lori says, is Cut Up getting married? I don't know. Carla, the cooking CEO, is getting married. Cut Up, is there something you want to announce? Something we should know about? Hillary Clinton, hate is not a strong enough word. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, believe it or not, is to be pitied. She never had the chance. Never. She always was kept behind. She wanted from the beginning, whether it's her fault or not, there's a part of me that feels kind of sorry. I know you're going to say you're out of your mind. I don't hate her. At all. She was like kind of insignificant. But I don't hate her at all. You see what I'm saying? There's something about this lunacy that I just find fascinating. And I don't have that. And by the way, there's something, I was going to tell you about Israel. I got a friend of mine. It's like, don't even bother. She knows nothing about it. I'm not going to get involved in it. And I can say, I was going to tell you, Mrs. L will tell you, I can say absolutely nothing. Is that complicated or what? Can you believe what's going on with that? Then she'll say, then you can say, the Palestinian can answer, the Jew can answer, the Israeli. And I'm going to say, do you think it's ever going to end? How do you think the media are covering it? Israeli says this, Palestinian says this. I'm just asking questions. And both of them will think I'm on their side. I'm not on anybody's side per se, but I'm good at saying nothing. I'll say nothing. Can you believe that? I'm telling you what. There you go. That's interesting. That's what you say to people, by the way, who are in the program directors and things like that. Interesting. I didn't know that. Well, there you go. I heard that. Wow. Don't say anything. Your goal is that your life is too short to be engaged with stupid people like this. What's the purpose? It doesn't make any sense. And the people who who I like are the ones who can argue both sides. I can argue both sides. I can see both sides of the whole thing. But then again, I gave up, getting mad years ago. It's so funny though how I have not been in a. I guess I've not been in a kind of in an actual media company. This ABC thing is fantastic, and one of the reasons why is because I'm always in the best of shape with you doing this. You know the kind of workout I do? I can go and walk for an hour and with a phone, or talk to you, or take your comments, or do this or that. It's like the Paris Island of training for this. But what I find is that for the first time, I'm finding, there's people in a setting. There's this person's here and whatever. And I'm so used to it. And I am so afraid I don't want to ever engage with anybody. How are you today? That's it. Great job. Sounded great. Out of there. Because I'm afraid. I'm just afraid. There's a level, there is so much insanity. I don't think there perhaps, but I never know this. I'm always the kind of person who says, they seemed okay. But I also tend to bring out the worst in people. Are you like that? Do you have people that I thought I was doomed until I met Mrs. L. I thought I was doomed. I said, it must be me. I must do this. I make people crazy. My friend's father, his late father, when referring to my friend, when asked, what does your son do, my friend? His father said, he makes antiques. And he said, I'm sorry, what was it? He makes it? You mean he repairs antiques or sells? No, he makes antiques. How do you make antiques? He says, well, give him something new, a car, whatever it is, and in 6 months, he'll destroy it. Make an antique out of it. Well, that's kind of what I do sometimes. I thought I bring out in people the worst there is. It's true. And I accept it. I've got no problem with that. So now at this stage of my life, I just don't engage. I'm thinking, I'm going to presume we're going to have a problem. So I'm saying, nice to know you. That's okay. Really, because let me tell you something. And this is the most important thing in the world. What the Overton window, what passes for insane today, what is allowed, what is used to, what is conditioned, is beyond anything anybody's ever thought. Cut Up says, I am never getting remarried. My ex was insane, and I trust none. Happy Widow here. Oh, wherever did this come from? The reason why is because our friend Lori Cuck said, is Cut Up getting married? I think she meant Carla, who's getting married, the CEO. And I think that is it. Cut Up is pretty adamant. I'm not. That's it. Whatever it is. I still think, and I believe in the concept of marriage, just like I think the concept of a lot of things, parenting, owning a boat, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I'm one of those people who said, I would never want to own a boat. Never. Under any circumstances. Never. I don't want to play golf. I don't want to fish. I just like to look around, walk around with my camera and say, look, there are people fishing. That's just close enough. But there are some people, I think, who should never get near marriage because they feel it's something they have to do. They feel like it's incumbent upon them. There are some people who say, I'm not getting married. You know what? Better that you do. Better that you. Some people say, I don't have kids. Better that you don't. I don't drive. Better that you don't. I don't do that. Better that you. When somebody says, nah, I'm going to opt out of something that everybody does, that's good. That means like, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's one of those things where I think it's done. I don't know what got us on the marriage. I think it was you, Cuck, who brought it up. There are people sometimes who feel like they have to, like it's a rite of passage. Well, I'm pushing 40. I've never been married. What does that mean? What does that even mean? I don't know. I remember the old days when a woman doesn't get married, she's an old maid. Remember that? Orville Redenbacher. Remember that guy? Look, no old maids. And he showed, remember the unpopped kernel? And I thought as a kid, unpopped? What is this, some reference to her? The old maids. Did you ever play old maid as a kid? Wasn't that the best game as a kid? We got to play old maid, honey. You and me. It's stupid. Two people. Yeah. And you would do everything. And I, of course, my sister. And I would move the one card up. So, of course, that's not the old maid. It's the one next to it. I said, going, no, here, take it. No, I'm not going to take that. No. No. And then I would hold it. And she'd take that thing. And I said, cut. And then I'd let go. And she looked and, well, she went for the other one, obviously. That's the old maid. It was one of the best. But think about that old maid. Remember what she looked like? She had like a bonnet. She had the little Mrs. Beasley glasses. Looked mean. Looked nasty. Just looked, anyway. Sherry says, marriage is a distraction. Now, wait a minute. Hold it. What does that mean, Sherry? Marriage is a distraction. You can't say marriage. You can say marriage with that person. There's no such thing as marriage. Yeah, there's some similarities to it, but it depends on the person. What does that mean? It's a distraction. Look at this. Leanne says, I like to know ahead of time if someone doesn't cook. Ship that dish. I like that one. I don't know what that means. Cut Up says, Ireland is the only country on the planet where an American cannot serve court documents to another American. This was set by treaty 60 years ago. X ran to Ireland and pretends to be dead. Wow. Well, you know, not to be weird or not to be macabre, but if he were to become actually deceased, how could you be charged with murder if he's already dead? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm not putting any ideas in your mind. I've always said this before. I've always said this, and people think I'm being cute. I'm not trying to be cute at all. I'm telling you the truth. When I was in school, 16 years old, driver's ed, Safeway driving school on Waters Avenue, 16. This was what, 50 years ago. Think about this. And we went, and I learned in this. It was this guy named Jack Baldwin. He had a car with a brake on his side, and I'm driving this thing. First time he said, "Let's go." Took Pilgrim will know this. Malfunction Junction, we're 274, 75, 275, I-4, rush hour. I'm going, what the hell is this? And all of a sudden the thing's stopping because he's hitting the brake. I said, I don't know if I have this driving stuff, but I knew I was going to do it. Well, anyway, the last scene, the very, very last night we were there, he says, just a minute. And he pushes out, again, the tray. There's kind of like a cart with a projector on it, 8mm. He goes, wait. And I had heard about this. You want to see, it's called Blood on the Highway. It was these 1950s. And the Film Forum here on Houston and Varick here downtown, they had a story about the guy who did this. He became quite the expert in this. He would have a radio in his car, and he would go with his 8mm, and he would take these horrible, and because they were so grainy and so black and white, they were even more just disgusting. And we were just horrified by this. Girls were getting sick, and this one was getting sick. Everybody's getting sick, and oh my God. And I always thought, and when I say this, Mrs. Ellis heard me say this a million times, they should have this. The way is sometimes in Catholic, they have pre-K now, where you have to go get instructions, But they should show, let me tell you what divorce means. Because you don't understand this. You don't understand what this means. It's not easy. You think it's easy. Even no fault. What a joke that is. It's demoralizing. But if it's contested, oh my God, it's the worst law there is. So consequently, I believe, as in Cut Up would say, people should hear the stories of what happens when it goes bad, when love sours, when it's because these people were absolutely, they went from rabid animals to being in love to hating each other, hating more than anything or anybody on the planet. Isn't that no residual love, no residual attraction, nothing. From 0 to 100, it's like, that's it. And they hate, here's one for you. Maybe you've seen this. Well, my ex is my best friend. What? Yeah, we're friends. Now, if there's kids, I understand that. But wait a minute. This is yeah, we're friends. We just couldn't stay married. But she's a good gal. What? Yeah, her new husband. Her new husband? You're hanging around with? I don't get that. I don't get it. I'm shame on me for not recognizing the fact that we should celebrate people mature enough to not let hate, get in the way. I can't do that. A wife swapping, say, what? No. Golf? No. I put golf and wife swapping on the same level. What? No. Isn't it interesting how we got from here, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't this the most incredible thing in the world? Isn't that something? Look at this. This is a very interesting question. Somebody says, Lionel, how come your hair never changes? Well, for one thing, is I get a haircut every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks. Like clockwork. I never did that growing up. I would say, oh, I think I should go. And I hate it still to this day. Hate haircuts. Hate. But we have a nice friend. But that's the answer to that. Whenever I go, by the way, I put in headphones because I cannot hear these, because it's kind of a tight little place. Aren't these women yammering the worst? They hate Trump and this. I can't take it. How they work at these places, I do not know. I mean that. I despise that. So anyway, it's a very interesting question. VL says women cannot control themselves. Some women can't. Shannon stepping away from, Shannon stepping away, here we go. Shannon stepping away from ESPN. FAFO, indeed. Well, one thing about Shannon, if I represented him, I would say, you're not going to say anything. You're going to say, I am not going to take this time to say anything demeaning about somebody. You kind of make sure that they're crazy. I'm sure that there's more behind this that I'd rather not speculate. And as you can understand, this is not the way to litigate matters of this importance. And that's it. Look like somebody, look at the way, you remember the way Ela, what was her name? Audrey St. Clair, or whatever the hell his name was. Ashley, the baby mama. Remember that? He didn't say anything. By the way, where did he go? He just left. He's gone. He's ghosting us. God, see ya. I'm out of here. That's it, yeah. And Vivek Ramaswamy is thinking, can I come back? I only left because, really? Can I come back? No, Vivek, really? Boy, he went from, remember how great he was? Everybody loved him. You know what I saw the other day on YouTube, just captured, was Matt Gaetz. Weirdest dude. What did I tell you about Matt Gaetz? Remember what I'm telling you. Matt Gaetz, Tate Brothers, Conor McGregor, somebody else. I'm just saying, remember I told you this. All right, my friends. Follow. I want you to go as soon as I'm done. Oops, that's yours. Forget it. I want you to go to Mrs. L's, Lynn's Warriors YouTube channel. Huh? Subscribe. That's what I'm saying. Subscribe to Lynn's Warriors. But in particular, you've got to see what she did today. She doesn't just sit back. She's out there with the mothers. 5:45, we're out there. And it was so great across from, I should say where, but it's around the neck of the woods where Webster Hall is. I saw Merle Haggard there one time. My only time there. Saw the Hag. Yep, I sure did. And it was downtown, completely different texture to the whole New York scene. In any event, dear friends, thank you so much. Follow her, Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow the other. I did, by the way, on the Lionel Legal show, I did a walkabout there too. I'm doing more. I'm going to go other places, but there's something kind of fun about walking around. I'll take you. I'll show you where Albert Anastasia was clipped, and whatever. I don't stray too far, but I think I'm going to do that. In any event, maybe we'll go on the subway. That's something good. All right, dear friends, have a great, 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 great day. Thank you so much for your kindness. And thank you so much for your wonderful benefactors. Cut Up Chatter, thank you so much. Soul, Lori Cuck, thank you. Soul76. Kelly McKinnon, thank you so much for your immense generosity. And Raul Rodriguez, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We will talk again soon. So, tomorrow is going to be kind of weird. Don't know, kind of weird morning schedule. But just make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. And whenever we're on, you can catch up. All right, friends, have a great day. Talk to you later. Don't forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. See you. Da-da.